Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Welcome inside to what was a Detroit icon. We're giving you an exclusive inside look at a last look at the Joe before it's got to go.
It is one of Michigan's oldest cold cases and one that still baffles investigators. Tonight, the family of Paige Rinkowski speaks out about the case 29 years after her disappearance.
And friends and family gather tonight in Birmingham, holding out hope for the safe return of a kayaker who vanished on Lake Michigan. Topping our news tonight at 11, the search effort remains underway in northern Indiana to find the C-Home graduate who vanished over the weekend.
Police were able to determine the park where 23-year-old Jacob Sandy went missing after discovering surveillance video of him. Despite days of searching, though, the water, he has not been found. Jermont Terry is live in Birmingham, where friends and loved ones gathered. Jermont?
Kimberly, this church is the home to Jacob's family, and tonight friends came here to really lift his loved ones in prayer as this family deals with the pain of not knowing where he is tonight.
A vibrant young man, Jacob Sandy's family hopes his light isn't dimmed too soon as divers search Lake Michigan and Indiana for any signs of the missing Birmingham native. Here in Michigan, the community turns to a higher power. Jacob's sister understands prayer provides peace.
We want to find him, whether his body is alive or dead, and just, there's a certain respect and reverence to finding someone and being able to lay them to rest.
The family considers Jacob the adventurous one. Last weekend, he took his kayak to the lake.
He's familiar with kayaking. He had just gotten a new kayak, but it was a pretty expensive kayak. It seemed to be good.
Well, the storm came just as Jacob hit the water. Witnesses tell authorities they saw him go under at a spot that's up to 30 feet deep, but no one saw him resurface. When family didn't hear from him, a search effort got underway by air and boat. Days later, no signs of Jacob nor his kayak. His mother left Birmingham to help find her son.
He's my baby, and he'll always be my baby, and I just love him to death.
And love is what this community shows Jacob's family.
I hope that he returns back home here in Birmingham safe and sound.
We know what reality looks like, but we also hope for there to be good news at the end of this.
Now, Jacob's mom is still over in Indiana near Lake Michigan, but tonight she was able to FaceTime in as this service took place here at St. James Episcopal Church. And the family is just holding out hope that they can find his body and or him. Reporting live in Birmingham tonight, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Okay, Jermont. A Delta flight from Toronto to Houston is forced to make an emergency landing at Metro Airport. The plane landed safely around 8 p.m. and we're told the flight was diverted due to a mechanical issue. Reports out of Boston say it was the Boston Red Sox team charter plane. The team was expected to board a new plane and resume its trip to Houston.
Tomorrow is going to be a busy day in Lansing. The Michigan legislature is going to reconvene in the morning for a pretty rare Friday session, especially considering it's a holiday weekend. But lawmakers are expected to vote on a no-fault auto insurance reform plan. The vote will come after a week of negotiations that have been going on between the House, the Senate, and Governor Whitmer. Both the House and Senate will be back in session tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And, of course, we'll follow it throughout the day here on Local 4. Now, also at the state capitol tomorrow, Attorney General Dana Nessel is going to update her office's investigation into possible sexual abuse by Catholic priests in Michigan. The AG's office first opened its investigation last year under Bill Schuette, and since then investigators have seized thousands of pages of documents from Michigan's 7 Catholic dioceses. Nessel also says her office has received more than 400 tips since the beginning of this year.
Well, plenty of sunshine today, but we did have some moments where winds really picked up. This is video from Detroit's west side. We showed you earlier where a massive tree fell and crushed a car. A child was briefly trapped, but fortunately nobody was hurt. And this was just one of several reports of trees down in various areas. Ben, that wind really kind of came out of nowhere this afternoon. We did have some strong gusts.
We did twice when the storms came through in the morning and then again when that front came through in the afternoon. Check out some of these numbers that we saw. Monroe had a gust of 55 miles an hour. That was in the morning. Metro and Pontiac, that was in the afternoon there, 39 and 49 miles per hour. But it was really gusty across the area pretty much the entire afternoon. Even out in Jackson, they saw those 55-mile-an-hour wind gusts at times. Things have calm down considerably tonight. Sustained winds right now just barely in single digits, and we won't see much of a breeze tomorrow. So we're going to trade in some of that warmth for lower wind speeds. This is what we're concerned about going into the holiday weekend. It's a severe risk on Saturday. Level 1 marginal here, level 2 slight if you're down in the south zone and parts of the metro and west. We'll talk more about timing on this as we head into the weekend, and of course look at tomorrow morning, which is going to be cool but dry. More on your holiday weekend forecast in minutes. Guys.
All right, Ben. 2 teenagers are facing weapons charges accused of bringing a gun to a fight. Police in East Point were called to a big fight yesterday near 9 Mile and Gratiot. A witness told police he saw Davion Coleman hand a gun to Deshaun Keller. Police arrested Keller a short time later after a bit of a chase. They caught up with Coleman as well, both charged with carrying a concealed weapon.
Wreckage of a small plane that went missing last week has been recovered in Lake Michigan. The plane was found 4.5 miles off the coast of Frankfort, about an hour west of Traverse City. The plane was en route to Monroe, traveling from the UP before it began experiencing engine issues. Search is still ongoing for the 2 missing men that were on board that plane.
The last time fans were inside Joe Louis Arena, April 9th, 2017, they beat the New Jersey Devils 4-1. The largest ovation of the night came when Steve Yzerman walked out wearing the familiar C on his sweater. 2 years later, of course, he would return home after being named general manager of the Wings, but of course they're now in a new home. Well, tonight, Mara McDonald is giving us our first look inside the Joe since demolition began 2 months ago. Mara.
Welcome, everybody, to what is or was center ice, such as it is right now. And when we walked in here tonight, my first reaction was, oh, wow.
The first thing that hits you when you walk in is how small it all looks. The Olympia room is gone, the locker rooms are no more, and the ice, well, it looks like the bottom of a murky cave.
Right now, you can see they're actually removing all of the concrete,
which you probably walked on or sat on. Those piles are all that's left of the stairs and the tiers where the seats were. The only real sign of what this used to be, the banners that remain. So far, what's been done has been on the inside. The outside is coming.
That's when the public will really see the Joe coming down.
Expect to see chunks of building being removed starting the second week of June. That should take a month or two, and then it's structural steel time.
These trusses that you see weigh about 880 tons each. That's something that is of concern to everyone.
Plans are still fluid on how to remove that. What comes next for this site that has played host to concerts, conventions, and so much legendary hockey is not yet clear, only that it will be built on so many of our shared memories.
So realistically, what does the timeline look like to remove all of this, well, rubble? Likely end of fall, and there'll be nothing left. We're at the Joe for the very last time. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
It's part of our neighborhood here in the west side of downtown. It's about 3 blocks from where we're sitting tonight. It's going to be kind of weird to have that gone.
It was so easy to walk, you know, when there were events over there, and so
things.
many memories too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We have posted a slideshow from inside the Joe Louis Arena on clickondetroit.com on the demolition that's been going on. You can find that on the homepage right now.
A pair of thieves caught on camera breaking into a pet store.
What they got away with that is valued at $44,000.
And a wild scene inside a Dairy Queen that caused a brawl that involved the manager and an employee's mother. Karen.
It's a 29-year-old mystery. What happened to Paige Ronkowski?
Somebody got her to pull over at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a freeway. I mean, how does that even happen?
Her car left on the interstate, unlocked doors, purse and shoes remained.
How do you live your life differently?
I'm always aware of my surroundings.
Hear from Paige's family on the latest on the case, next.